Greetings and welcome to this virtual tour of Praj Matrix, the research and development facility, the fountainhead of where all technologies get developed or improved, sharpened. Under normal circumstances, I would have liked to show you around physically, but under this strange, abnormal pandemic situation, we have to make do with a virtual tour. So I'm going to show you around a few of the laboratories and show you how things get developed and introduce you to some few key people there and the facilities that they use to develop technologies. Okay, let's go. All right. So here I am in the lobby of the R&D facility, and I would like to introduce you to Dr. Kumbar, Dr. Pramod Kumbar. He is the CTO of Praj Matrix, the R&D Center. Over to you. Please, can you give us an overview of your facility, sir?
This is the R&D Center, Praj Matrix R&D Center, which we shifted in 2008. Of course, Praj has its R&D Center from its inception from 1983, but this facility was started in 2008. And this facility is about 5 acres land and about 80,000 square feet of laboratory and pilot plants. It's a unique facility where you have start from a concept and you can take it up to scaling it up to the pilot plant so that all the scientific assumptions can be validated at that scale. We have 80 plus scientists at this place, which comprises of chemists, biologists and engineers together. Out of that, 25 are PhDs and rest are master's degree holders. We have Center of Excellence model where we have starting from microbiology, molecular biology, chemical sciences, analytical sciences, scale-up, process engineers. These are the Center of Excellence. They work together on a project that is been defined based on our stage gate process. So have an excellent tour of this facility.
So now we are on the ground floor of the facility, and there are 16 laboratories on 2 different floors. We are going to take you through 8 laboratories out of the total 16. And here the first one, it says Analytical Wet Chemistry Lab. Right, we are inside the Analytical Wet Chemistry Laboratory, and this is where the whole journey of the feedstock begins. And please allow me to introduce you to Dr. Sawant, head of the analytical facility. Over to you, Dr. Sawant.
This is the central analytical facility where we cater to our business groups, our customers and our internal R&D programs. So the unique feature about this is our internally developed compositional property database system, which we term as CPDS. So once the sample enters the lab, it is logged in here and it gets a unique identification number, which helps us in tracking all the data and whenever we need it. Further, the sample comes here where we determine its moisture content in a very rapid way. This is called a rapid dryer. And once we determine the moisture content, it helps us to determine how much drying the sample will need. Here are the extraction systems where we do water extractives, ethanol extractives from the sample, after which we have a protein digester here where the sample is digested for its protein content. The digested sample is then taken to other labs for analysis of sugars and other byproducts. So this is the HPLC lab where sample is analyzed after digestion. HPLC helps us in determining the sugars that are present in the sample. Another advantage of HPLC is it also helps us in monitoring our fermentation reaction, because the in-process samples are analyzed here for all the fermentation inhibitors that are formed in the fermentation, because of which the fermentation is carried out to its fullest efficiency. The final product analysis happens in the GC lab, where we will see how the final product gets analyzed. So these are the gas chromatography instruments where our final product is analyzed for its purity, and these gas chromatography instruments also help us in determining the impurities at the smallest levels up to ppb levels. Our 30 years of experience in analyzing and ethanol samples have helped us in developing these methods where we are able to detect those impurities on these GC instruments. One of the instruments which we have here, which is the GC, which is coupled with a mass spectrophotometer. This mass spectrophotometer helps us in determining any impurity which is unknown till date, but the mass fragmentation helps us in characterizing that impurity. Another use of this instrument is now in the characterization of bio-oils. Further inside, if we go, we have a ICP instrument here which helps us in analyzing the metal impurities in our fuel and also the lignin cake which comes after fermentation. The heavy metals that are present in lignin, if any, we are able to analyze in this ICP instrument. I'll take you further inside where we can see you have a calorimeter here. A calorimeter is an instrument where you are able to find out calorific value of the fuel cake or the spent lignin cake which you have to use as a fuel. This is a sulfur analyzer. Sulfur is a very critical element of a fuel. So this instrument helps us in sulfur analysis of our fuel samples. So I think this gives you an overall view about analysis of the samples, how we do right from the raw material to the final product. Another crucial feature of our labs is our care towards safety. We have emergency showers fitted in all labs and we have first aid charts fitted in all labs which help people take due precautions when they come in contact with any chemicals and in case they need to take any precautions.
So those were the analytical facilities you took a look at, and we are, as you remember, I mentioned in the beginning, we are going to trace the path of typical feedstock takes as it passes to the R&D facility. So after the analytical facility, we are going to go up to the upper floor where we have some additional facilities before we go to the pilot plant. So walk with me, please. Right, so I'm here on this upper floor where we are going to show you a few very important facilities from the biotech point of view, and these are what are called clean room facilities, class 10,000, and I'm going to hand you over to my colleague Dr. Anand, who will talk to you more about that, more about all the individual facilities within that, and walk with me please. We are at the entrance of the clean room facility, and I have here Dr. Goshalkar, Anand Goshalkar, to talk you through the details of what goes on inside there. Over to you, Anand.
Thank you, Mr. Malik. Hello and welcome to Praj Matrix clean room facility. It has 9,000 square feet of laboratory space where we have 6 laboratories. We'll visit each of the laboratories one by one, and I will show you all the infrastructure and the instruments and the scientific capabilities which we have inside them. For development of fermentation-based technologies, we require good capabilities in areas of microbiology, biochemistry, and molecular biology. For developing different microbial and enzyme systems, the most important thing at the start is ability to screen these enzymes and microbes. For doing this, let us start with the shaking facility which we have in the clean room facility. So these are 4 shaker rooms with 1000 shake flask capacity, which allows us to screen 1000 microbes at a time. If we want to increase our screening capability, we need a high throughput screening machine. Let me take you to the microbiology lab 1 where we have high throughput screening machine. In microbiology lab 1, we have high throughput screening machine which is equipped with a robotic arm and 96 well plate. This increases our screening capability many-fold, and we can screen thousands of microbes at one time. Recently, we completed a project with 20,000 culture screening for 4 different industrially important targets. Once we identify the right target, we develop it using microbiological and molecular biology techniques, which I will take in next part of the tour. In molecular biology lab 4, we do enzyme characterization and enzyme testing, which we do in partnership with variety of enzyme companies. This laboratory is equipped with variety of equipment starting with high speed centrifuges as well as spectrophotometers and boiling water bath. We do enzyme assays of monocomponents which are present in these complex enzyme cocktails, and in tandem with our proprietary pretreatment technologies, we test these different enzymes under different conditions for releasing different sugars efficiently. Once these sugars are efficiently released from different feedstock, we ferment them using different microbial systems which are developed by microbial and molecular biology techniques, which I will take you in next laboratory. For development of microbial system for fermentation based products, we take both microbiology and molecular based biology approach, which allows us to make targeted changes in yeast and bacterial systems. Molecular Biology Lab 4 is equipped with electroporator machine which allows us to transform nucleic acids in microbial systems. It is also equipped with thermal cyclers for amplification of nucleic acids, real-time PCR machine which is also popular in COVID testing today, and it is also equipped with electrophoresis station and Joule documentation system. This laboratory helps us in developing genetically modified organisms which allows us fermentation of different sugars and reduction of byproducts. In Molecular Biology Lab 1, we take both mutagenesis as well as directed evolution approach for improvement of these microbes for inhibitors which comes from pre-treatment of second generation feedstock. We do directed evolution in shake flask as well as small 5 liter or 2 liter fermenters using chemotestate operations. Adaptive evolution of co-fermenting yeast, which is used for 2G ethanol today, was also done in this laboratory using chemostates which were operated for several months to adopt the yeast for different inhibitors. This laboratory is equipped with variety of equipment starting with microscope, laminar flow chambers, anaerobic chambers for handling strict anaerobes, deep freezer for preservation of culture for a longer period of time, and fast protein liquid chromatography systems for purification of proteins. Once we have developed the bioprocess at a shake flask and 1 liter scale with its media and process parameters, we develop further bioprocess in bioprocess development laboratory in ground.
Now we are in the bioprocess development lab. We are transitioning from clean room research facility where we have learned about different type of enzymes, assays of enzymes, molecular biology, adaptability of yeast, co-fermenting yeast. All these have been done at the shake flask. Now we are moving to a lab and bench scale scenario, and this is completely a non-sterile facility. And what we see here is enzymatic hydrolysis reactor. All these are batch reactors of scale 10 liters. Here we explore how we develop enzyme hydrolysis process. In this, towards the end, we look at the different type of enzymes, we look at the pH, we look at the time, we look at the other additives which can boost the performance of the enzyme so that we get a high yield of sugars which can then be further fermented to ethanol. So next step following this is the fermentation. These are non-sterile fermentatives of 10 liter scale. All the enzymatic hydrolysis is now taken here to the fermentation using different type of co-fermented yeast. This is again a non-sterile facility, the entire facility, and we have used feeds such as 1G as well as 2G sugars for the fermentation to ethanol. From here we move on to the sterile facility where we embark on the production of biochemicals from 2G sugars. Now we are transitioning from non-sterile laboratory, bioprocess laboratory to sterile process development laboratory. This lab hosts 10 liter sterile fermenters with a lot of controls like temperature, pH, oxygen. This is a 10 liter and this is useful in the context of biorefinery chemicals from 2G sugars, particularly like xylitol, isobutanol, and various other biochemicals. Apart from the small reactors which you have seen just before, we also have a 100 liter sterile facility And this facility can be used for higher scale up and also for the development of enzymes, just like what you see in the pharma for the development of vaccines. All the knowledge and the development, both from non-sterile fermentation lab and sterile fermentation process development, are translated to pilot facility.
Having taken a good look at the analytical facilities together with the microbiology and the molecular biology sections and the role they play in developing the process technology at the laboratory and the bench scale, we need to validate all that at a higher capacity, and that brings us to the pilot plant. And I am standing here now in the pilot plant, and I would like to hand you over to Dr. Pal, who will tell you more about the work that they have been doing in the pilot plant for the past 12 years.
So welcome to the Praj Matrix pilot facility. So this consists of two different sections. One is the 1 ton per day biomass to ethanol continuous plant, and the second is a multi-purpose plant which caters into lignin based products and other sugar valorization products into fuels and chemicals. The first section in the biomass to ethanol plant is a feedstock storage area in which we are storing multi feedstocks, and the total capacity of this storage section is 50 tons. So here we are standing at the ground level of this pilot plant. So this pilot plant has been running since 2009 December. The first section of the plant is a pre-treatment section where the pre-processed material is fed into a high pressure reactor. The pre-treated slurry from the reactor is then sent into an enzyme hydrolysis reactor where enzymes are added for the conversion of cellulose to glucose. The enzyme hydrolyzed slurry is later then fed into a co-fermentation reactors where both sugars, glucose and xylose are then converted to ethanol. The ethanol formed in the fermentation reactors are then sent into a distillation columns where the ethanol is recovered as a distillate, and the bottoms of the distillation column, which is called as spent mash, is then treated separately. We also have a filtration unit on that side which can be inserted depending on the process configuration, either before the fermentation or after the fermentation. So this pilot plant we are running basically on multiple feedstocks, multiple agro-based feedstocks and softwood residues, and the parameters which have been optimized at a lab scale and a class scale are tested here and validated for further design.
We are at the multi-purpose pilot scale facility which encompasses lignin valorization as well as sugar valorization. So the lignin produced at biomass to ethanol pilot scale plant is brought here and converted into different value adding co-products, whereas in sugar valorization, cellulosic sugars from agri residues is converted into isobutanol, and isobutanol is further converted into sustainable aviation fuel through the ASTM approved pathway of alcohol to jet.
We are at the concluding part of our tour to the R&D facility, and as you can see, I am standing in the patent gallery where the 80 plus granted patents are on display. And once the technology has been developed at the lab scale, then scaled up to bench and then validated at the pilot level, the patent is then passed on to the engineering office where it is commercialized. And the next stop, I will show you a brief, very good short brief glimpse of the engineering office. Well, we are at the last part of our virtual tour. As you can see, I am standing in the Praj headquarters. This is called Praj Tower, a 6-story building, houses about 800 professionals, and this is the place from which the engineering and technology deployment activities are managed from. Thank you very much.